By Carlee Alm-LaBar with a new title, really, since Friday at 4:45. You're a challenger now.
I guess that is correct.
You're
yes,
a space
it is.
shuttle. You're
yes.
a challenger.
Oh, boy.
So the announcement was made on Friday at an event downtown that you will challenge Mayor President Joel Robideaux for that office in the fall elections.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Sure. We had a great crowd out Friday to make the announcement. And, you know, I guess the first question, which I'm going to take from you, is why am I doing this?
Yeah.
That would be the one.
And I think that the best way to say it is that I've spent a career in mostly public service, a lot of volunteer work. I'm extraordinarily passionate about the future of our community, and I really wanted this campaign and the future to be about the future of Lafayette and where we're going. And we've struggled to have those discussions over the last couple of years. And so finally, I thought I need, if what I care about is this community, I need to enter this race.
The thing about it is a lot of times when we have these conversations, you're talking to someone who's never stepped into the offices, who has never been involved with Lafayette Consolidated Government. And we know your background. I mean, you worked under Mayor President Joey Durrell for pretty much
about half of his time, about 6 years.
Okay, so it's 6 years, and he was in for 11 once it kind of all shook out. But what are your thoughts about going back? I mean, you will have to hire, should you be elected, have to hire a you again.
Right.
I mean, is that exciting?
Oh, absolutely. And there's, it takes a team of people, and there's about 2,000 folks who work at Lafayette Consolidated Government. I've had the opportunity to work with many of them, and there are a lot of great people. I think, like any situation where you're going in to lead a team, you've got to learn how to, we're just talking about a really big team here. You've got to learn how to engage them at at every level and get them working towards a common goal. I think one of the most important things, and especially in government, there's a lot of people, I think you mentioned it, who don't have a lot of exposure to how government works. So, whether in any of my roles at LCG, I always felt like I was in a position where I was having to communicate, the different priorities and pressures on government.
Well, that's how we got to know you.
Yeah.
Because you were communicating those priorities and pressures.
Right. And so I think that's what the citizens want, and that's what the citizens deserve. And so, whether that's out in the community talking about how government works and how government can work for them and how government is trying to protect them, or whether that's working with a team of 2,000 folks to get them motivated towards common goals and where our future needs to go. What I hope to do.
I guess a lot of people are going to want to know about your platform too for the future.
Right.
Kind of what do you envision?
Absolutely. Well, I think that you can't run for a local government without talking about roads and drainage.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the number one thing that people want to hear about, and infrastructure investment. We have a big challenge there because, we have a lot of maintenance that we need to take care of. And I think that's one of the biggest things. And so I think we need to take a step back and look at how we've made our capital investment and where we can reinvest and where we can make basically the most efficient improvements possible on the traffic side and on the water management or drainage side. Mm-hmm. I think that's number one, because you look at the backlog of maintenance projects, and then, you look at the things that people say they want, and the scale is not proportionate to the money we have. So I think that's challenge number one. Challenge number two, you guys got to know me more during the charter amendments.
Yep.
And, part of the reason that I think I decided to run was the urgency of making sure that transition was smooth. We're going to have a new form of government.
Gosh, think about, all of these big things that are on the horizon.
Right. We're going to have a new form of government come January. Mm-hmm. And we're going to need a lot of discipline to make sure that is smooth. Mm-hmm. And, quite frankly, we've lost some time the last 3 months that, we have work to do. And so that has to become both a focus of the campaign as well as a focus of whoever takes office.
Let me ask about the financial side, because I think a lot of people, when they think of local government, think of those lightning rod issues, whether it's drag queen story time or whether it is flooding or these tangible things you see that in many ways divide some people, or, well, that's not my neighborhood. Trust me, we get calls every single time it rains, people who are bordering on River Ranch and that development, because they think because that's there, well, I never flooded before that was there. And we hear it every time. So those are valid concerns people have that at least need to have answers. But a lot of people don't see the intricacies of how do you make the money work when the oil and gas industry is at what it is and tax revenues are what they are. How do you do that? Because I was talking to someone over the weekend who was excited that you were in the race. But the one thing they said was a lot of people don't see the real work that has to be done and kind of gave Joel kind of thumbs up for what he's done with what he's had.
Right.
On the fiscal side.
Yeah, I think that the challenges on the fiscal side are pretty large. Mm-hmm. I think that you have to look, we will have a very clear city and parish budget to work with and a city and parish council to work with, which I think will sometimes change the conversations because we will know, the city is spending money in these ways because that's a city priority. So I think that's going to give us a lot more clear lens on where we actually have funding shortfalls and maybe, where we don't. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing from my experience that the city pressures are less than the parish pressures. Many of your listeners know that the fiscal challenges of the parish were known well before consolidation.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, forever.
And you can argue that they've been masked by consolidation. So I think that'll be a tougher conversation. We have to start to look from a drainage standpoint at ways that we can do regional detention and try to basically increase safe places for water to go. Mm-hmm. Because I think when you look at flooding like August 2016, the volume of water that came from the sky, we need more places to put it.
Yeah, spring is so much more active in the last 10 years than it's ever been. Right. And places that have never flooded all over are going to flood. So, yes.
How do you see this role, especially dealing with the governments in the neighboring parishes? Talking about flooding, for example, Vermilion is very key.
Right.
Because we know what happens with the Vermilion River once it gets down into Vermilion Parish.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How important are those relationships, and do you have them already?
Absolutely. So I think that, the Acadiana Planning Commission has already done some great work of relationships there. Certainly need to strengthen my regional relationships with the other parish presidents, but I know most of them and am excited to work with them. I think, working with small town mayors, working with the state has, their own initiatives related to water management that we, I'm sure are already coordinating some with and need to keep that up. So it's one of the most complex problems that our community is going to have to deal with, and we need to be dealing with it on a local level all the way up to the state and national level.
Okay, kind of curious because I know it's going to be asked during the campaign and might as well just start getting things out there right now. Okay,
Day one.
Yeah, right. Okay, so if elected, you would be mayor president. Yes. How do you feel from that point going forward? Because people are going to ask you, do you think the job should be separated into a parish president and a mayor? Should it stay the same? Where are you at this issue right now?
I think right now the laser focus has to be on making what we just passed work. But, I will be absolutely open as we work towards a smooth implementation of that to understand if there are future changes that need to be made, whether that is the ultimate division of that head role or there are other things that we need to be doing. Most important thing, though, is that we go into January 1 and things are as smooth
as they can be.
Right.
Yeah, with such a big change.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
It's such a big change. And because, everybody's going to start asking about this, too. Where are you on LUS? There have been so many discussions about that issue. Was the time come to do something different? Management, sales, whatever. Any thoughts in that direction right now?
Absolutely. I think that the number one thing that we learned in the LUS debate is that we needed a community conversation, and we didn't have one. And so I think now you have folks who are kind of lined up on both sides who are saying this is a great idea, this is not a great idea. We need to be talking about the future of LUS, and we need to be talking, there's an integrated resource planning process going on right now, and we need to be thinking about how we make the most advantage of that to secure the future of LUS. I think those are the conversations we have to have right now. I think conversations about the sale management lease, that has divided our community, and we need to start to get past that.
By having the conversations.
Right.
Carlee Alm-LaBar, we'll be talking to you, I'm sure, several times over this
Happy
next
to come.
several months. And we appreciate it because I know we asked and you said, yes, I'll be there first thing. So thanks for getting up early with us.